straight jacket. I grip the mic with my toes.
Welcome back to the Black Philosophical Society. I am your host, Baba Hatep. And this is one right here, man. Been a long time coming. This is one that I wanted to make years ago. I almost came back just to talk about this shit right here, right? It's disgraceful. I got my head covered in shame. You could probably look at the screen and get a gist. The gist of what I'm about to say. Maybe not. Maybe you don't know that this is a thing. This is a phenomenon out here. But it is. We got Negroes out here defending slavery. Yeah. That's what's going on. I bullshit you not. I wouldn't have believed it either if I wouldn't have heard it myself. I'm going to give y'all a little brief history by these guys right here, man. Those who know, y'all probably recognize them right away. If you frequented the so-called great debate community in the past, and you probably ran into both of them at some point. See, I go way back into this shit. I go back to Fundamentally Flawed and Alex Botten, then the Magic Sandwich Show, R.I.P. to DPR, and from there, I think I found Nadia's channel, Fake Coliseum, all of that, J.D. Kane, Steve McCrae, Pow Talkers. Yeah, good old days of G+. But there was also a group that frequented these hangouts that it was referred to as the Clown Car Posse. These two right here, these two Negroes was card-carrying members of the Clown Car Posse. Of course, they didn't call themselves that. That's what they was labeled. I called them Heckle and Veckle. This one's name is Veckle. That guy. I was finna say his government, but he crazy enough to flag this shit, even though his dumb ass doxed himself on a video years ago, and then got mad when people started calling him by his real name. I'm not gonna feed into it. I'm not even gonna say his name. We'll call him Girly Man. You know. But matter of fact, this person here is the reason why I created my first troll account ever. Just to fuck with him. Like, that's how much he used to annoy me. Infuriate me. Like, shit he would say was ridiculous shit. I don't know, man. He just was not equipped to be in the type of conversations he was engaged in. I don't want to join in the he's dumb shit, but that's what everybody said about him. Definitely just wasn't equipped. That's what I say. But he said a lot of crazy shit. This guy, who's, I would have to say, was far more reasonable and seemingly intelligent, he would end up having to back him up because that's his brother in Christ. And because they were cool outside of this. You know, they had a rapport, so he would end up having to back him up even when you could tell he didn't agree with the shit he was saying either. Could never say that publicly. So they had to keep that unified front going. But they both said a lot of dumb shit, for sure. We're really not going to talk about the arguments that they're making. It's not really the focus of this, even though I'm going to let you hear a little bit of this guy's argument. But yeah, I didn't, just for the record, I ended up not using the account to troll him. I snapped out of that shit, like, really, because he ended up leaving the community to go argue with Israelites. He was much better equipped to deal with them and had more success arguing with them. He was getting his ass whooped in them other debate rooms. He eventually gave up on that after years of getting humiliated. So yeah, it wasn't worth it for me to be engaging with him. I ended up using that account to troll Israelites myself, matter of fact. Not troll them, but to question them and scoff is what they would call it. But all I be doing is asking questions and shit that I know they can't answer. But the channel I made it because of this guy. This guy who, without hesitation, told me that Malcolm X went to hell. And then when I pressed him on it, I was like, so you believe after everything Malcolm did that he would go to hell, and your did nothing in your life ass, you get to go to heaven. And that's what you believe, you think that's cool. And he gave some answer that basically doubled down on it. And as disgusted as I was, I couldn't even really be mad because that's the honest answer. That's what a honest Christian is supposed to say. I think if I was being honest, when I was a Christian, I would have said that. It would have been hard for me to say. I don't know how I would have said that. I had some Christians try to dodge it. Black Christians. Interesting question to ask your black Christian friends. You ain't done nothing with your life of substance. Definitely ain't changed nobody's life, most of y'all. This man done changed countless lives. Put his life on the line, died for his people. And you can sleep well believing he went to hell and you deserve to go to heaven. You cool with that scenario. I couldn't believe in no God that set up a system like that. That's what really started my hatred of him. And that was way before he became a fucking apologist for slavery. So it took me a long time before I even made that account. That's the point I'm making. I had been listening to him for months and years before I ever did that. But like I said, I never used it against him. Just felt like that would be just picking on the fucking child, really. Basically what he is, a man child. But just to quickly sum up their arguments here, if you can't tell by what I'm saying already, they're on the pro-slavery side. The two Negroes. Yeah, imagine that. They are on the atheists are on the other side, the anti-slavery side. Or they're arguing that the slavery in the Bible is just as bad as the slavery we know of today. Modern slavery, chattel slavery, whatever, right? So his argument is that nuh-uh. Biblical slavery is nice slavery. It's cool slavery. It wasn't that bad. It's not like Kunta Kinte. These are the type of examples he keep bringing up. Y'all think it's like Kunta Kinte and Toby getting whooped and 12 years a slave and all this shit. And of course, people keep showing him examples of how it was exactly like that if you are a non-Israelite. But he was trying to, some sneaky shit that he likes to do is focus on the passages about how to treat Israelite slaves, how you supposed to treat your Israelite slaves, and ignore all the other shit about how you can treat non-Israelite slaves, which is pretty much however the fuck you want, right? But that's his slimy, slippery, fucking intellectually dishonest argument. But this motherfucker, I'm gonna let you hear his argument for yourself. Just a little bit of it.
I don't believe that there's anything wrong with a human being owning another human being in of itself. I'm going to stick to what Baku said earlier about his apology.
I know y'all probably didn't catch that. I'm going to rewind it, but he's going to repeat it just to make sure you catch it. But watch this dude's reaction. Like, he reacted as a sane person is supposed to react to what he's saying.
To be brief, because I'm going to get to the actual discussion. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with a human being owning another human being in of itself. I'm going to stick to what Baku said earlier about his apologetics regarding what he said about
Okay if you
disagreeing
missed it,
with
just
some
wait
Christians
for it.
regarding this particular topic. And I'm going to say this again: I do not believe that there's anything wrong with a human being owning another human being in of itself. Let me break that down so that you guys can know where I'm coming from.
Well, in case you missed it, it might be kind of hard to hear. He does not think there's anything wrong with a human being owning another human being in of itself. That's a quote. Of course, what he's trying to say is in and of itself. But every time he says this, and he's been saying this shit for years, he went on a whole campaign going on different shows giving this dumbass argument. He kept saying in of itself, and people keep fucking correcting him, and he just keeps saying the same shit. But yeah, you heard it right. Hold on. Look at this guy.
Of itself. Let me wrong with some Christians regarding this particular topic. And I'm going to say this again: I do not believe that there's anything wrong with a human being owning another human being in of itself. Let me break that down so that you guys can.
We're not gonna listen to him break it down. If you want to, I was gonna say I'd put the link in the description, but I'm not. What he's gonna do, I'll just sum it up for you, is redefine slavery. He's just gonna try to change what slavery is and what it means. Try to make it okay to own a person. Like, their arguments are irrelevant. What they actually are saying, that's not really the point. What I want to talk about is why they're even making these arguments, right? They had to come up with something. Both of them tried to come up with something to justify what's in the Bible and why it's in there and why God seems to condone it, right? I think he tried to argue that God doesn't condone it, which is silly because he allows it, means he condones it because he has the power to stop it and condemn it. He gave rules and regulations on how to do it. So very obvious that he condoned it, but they wouldn't be trying to make arguments to justify this if they didn't have these beliefs. No way in hell two fucking black men, two descendants of slavery. I'm gonna let y'all see. This is him. That these people, they would never be on this side of this argument if it weren't for this right here. This is what I'm saying. This is what religion does to you. This is what Christianity in particular does to you. Put you in the position to you. This is what you're arguing for. That is nothing wrong with owning a human being in and of itself. That's just the simple act of owning a human being. That's okay. I think he also would say, as long as you don't beat them and mistreat them and all this shit. If I treated you nicely, what would be wrong with me owning you then? What I'm saying, these are things that you won't find any other black people making pro-slavery arguments that are not Christians. They don't have any other motivation to do that. They're only motivated by their religion to be here doing this. And several pink people done had to tell them how crazy they sound. Not a lot of brown ones though. See, I know it's gonna be some black Christians listening that's gonna say, "Oh, you can't blame Christianity on this. These niggas just crazy." Well, it's been plenty of other. First of all, they ain't the only ones I've heard doing this. They just the ones who were the most vocal and doing it the most, especially this one. But they have been in rooms with other black Christians and they didn't stand up and speak out and tell them they was wrong and they need to shut the fuck up. Y'all sound crazy. First of all, they can't or wouldn't do that publicly, right? Because y'all have to have those secret chastising meetings. You have to tell your brother, talk to your brother in private and all this other shit. But I don't see what could a Christian say? What would a black? I don't think there's too many black Christians that would disagree with either one of them, really. Like, they probably wouldn't like what he said, how what he said sounds, but how do you object to it and still rationalize what the Bible condones? And Jesus telling you straight out to obey your masters. And it's a rebel against your masters, kill your masters. And people try to make excuses for that. Oh, you know what would have happened if he would have told them to obey their masters? They would have got killed. Why? God wouldn't have protected them? God wouldn't protect them from the slave masters? Whose side is God on? This is the position the belief system has put you in as a black Christian. It's where you have to be trying to rationalize why your book seems to condone slavery. Not just in the Old, but in the New Testament. Not just God, but Jesus. And they the same to you, right? Probably. So I don't even need to make no distinction. Sad. Two niggas on the pro-slavery side of a debate. This is why so many of us are against religion, right? It's not that we just care what other people believe and I just want to stop people from believing things that make them happy. Like, no, it's not. It ain't nothing like that. It's because this is what the belief produces. This is the type of mentality that the beliefs produce. All right, I got to share earth with people who think like this. Like, think about what this would make, what type of decisions this could lead a person to make. We already know what type of decisions it has led people to make. People done killed their children because they scared of them going to hell. To spare them, I don't know how. I can't rationalize it. This was their thought process. They were doing them a favor. Religion has caused people to do all kind of crazy things. But those things start with crazy thoughts. Crazy thoughts like these. I'm not the type of person who just can just look the other way and be like, oh, well, that's what he believed. That ain't my problem. No, that's our problem. We need to be trying to fix that. So this is why I care. This is why I do this. There's a lot of people with beliefs that you ain't gonna never hear me talking about because they don't have a negative effect on society. I believe these type of beliefs have a very negative effect on society. We're gonna be talking about that more and more. This is just one example of. Show me another example of some niggas having a debate with two white people and they on the pro-slavery side that's not Christians. Show me an example of that. You ain't gonna find it, man. All Uncle Ruckus coons, sellouts, whatever we call them, race traitors, they always are religious. Without exception, man. Their allegiance is to their master, a heavenly father, not to their people. So, something to think about, something to be aware of. I don't know if all of us knew that there was niggas out here doing this type of shit. Like I said, it's old though, but the mentality still persists. If you don't believe me, talk to some of your black Christian friends about it. I'm sure some of y'all are in some groups. Bring it up, pose the question and see what happens. See how they respond. And until next time, think while you still can.
Collecting haters' heads for hobbies.
Started at the crimson level, slayed the dragon, chained the devil to the bottomless pit. This ain't as hot as it get. Don't bite off more than you can chew if you can't swallow the shit. Thugsy Lalo grab the money bag and bottle the shit. The fashioner, the designer, make him model the shit. I soothe the savage beasts or even make them hostile and shit. Gorilla style, beat your chest, flare your nostrils and shit. A civilize you, give you knowledge, make you docile and shit. Well, hallelujah, praise God for the power to change a man's heart.